What should I do if USCIS asks me to sign a statement at my interview? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our office here in St. Louis, Missouri. I was sitting around thinking about immigration the other day, and I was thinking about what happens when the immigration officer asks a client, or a foreign national, I should say, to sign a verified statement. So, of course, everything that you ever tell immigration is under oath. You're sworn in at the beginning of your interview. A lot of times the interviews are video recorded. You can usually tell because there'll be like a desktop camera pointed at you. I've seen very elaborate cameras used in some interviews, but usually it looks like one of those Skype cameras or computer cameras, and they have it sitting on a little three-legged tripod, and you can sort of tell you're being recorded. But in sometimes, even when they're being recorded, the immigration officer will ask you to actually read a statement that they have typed up during the interview, and they'll ask you to verify it. Now, we've had a lot of drama about these signed statements in the past. There have been times where I've told my client not to sign the statement. There have been times where my client and I have gone over the statement line by line and fixed things, and the officer didn't like that because sometimes there's a dispute over what was said. And so the thing to keep in mind is it's your statement, and you should not be bullied into putting in words that you didn't say. And it also means that you should pay attention to what you're saying and to remember what you're saying. And so this is one of the reasons why when people ask me, is it a good idea to have an attorney with me at my interview? This is one, because then you have sort of a third party, an advocate obviously for the foreign national, but they're going to be able to take notes, very copious notes is one of the things we do. We take very detailed notes to make sure that we have as close to a record as we can of what happened. And that way, if there's a dispute over what they want you to sign in the statement, it's ultimately your statement. Now, you might be asking yourself, am I in trouble, or is it a bad sign about my case if they're asking me to sign a statement? And I've seen it go both ways. There are certainly times where the things in the statement are going to be used against you to deny the case, and an experienced immigration lawyer can sort of tell based on the statements that the officer is writing, the questions and the answers and how they're framing things, as to whether or not they're there to help someone or to hurt them, to try to deny their case. So there have been times where I knew my client's case was in trouble because of the contents of the statements and the way that things were framed. There have also, though, been times, and this is very important to keep in mind, where the officer just wants to exclude other evidence, wants to sort of nail down the record and make sure that they've asked every single question and to document it. Sometimes they're having to report to a supervisor, sometimes they're having to report back to the home office in Washington, D.C. And so you never really can tell why a statement is being asked for, why a formal written statement above and beyond the regular recordings or note-taking of the officer is being done. So don't read too much into it and don't freak out about it. Now, I'd be worried if I'd been to an interview and I didn't have an attorney and a statement was asked for. Now, some people ask me, can I ask for a copy of the statement? In most instances, USCIS will not give you a copy of the statement, which I think is fundamentally unfair. Now, they say we have a process for you to get the statement, and that's a Freedom of Information Act request. The problem with that is it can take 6 months to get a copy of that statement, and if you're appealing some kind of adverse decision, some decision that went against you, then you're sort of up against it when you're trying to get the statement so you know how to argue on appeal. So I think it's unfair that USCIS asks for a copy, or won't give you a copy of the statement, but keeps it for themselves. I don't think that's fair, and I think that rule should be changed. But I'm not in charge. So anyway, if you're being asked to give a statement, it's pretty serious. It means your case is being heavily scrutinized. And when they hand you that statement, when they print it out, you look over every single line. You take as long as you want to make sure that the questions that were asked and the answers that were given are consistent. Because sometimes they make mistakes. Sometimes they're trying to craft things in their favor in a way to deny the case. So you have to be really careful and really pay attention. If you didn't say something, don't say that you did. All right? So if you have any questions about signed statements at an immigration interview, give us a call at 314-961-8200. You can always email us, info@hackinglawpractice.com. We've been getting a lot of comments and feedback lately, people asking us to shoot videos on particular topics, and we're happy to do it if we think it's something that will benefit all of our viewers. If you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, put it in your playlist, and make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and join us at Immigrant Home in our Facebook group. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next time.